Well, good afternoon. If it's Mondays, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, it's Mondays with Michael Live here on Facebook. Thanks for joining me today in the room. If you're here live, say hello. For those of you who watch this post session, either on LinkedIn, here on Facebook, or Twitter, or else you're seeing this online, thank you so much for checking it out today. If you're not following us on social media, please do so. We have a Facebook fan page here, business page, I guess they call it now. Check it out, Training Solutions. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, we have a LinkedIn page, corporate page. And we also have a corporate Twitter account. You may see this through the corporate Twitter account, or you may see this through my Twitter account. So please join us, follow us on social media. We post out a lot of content. Most of our content is around supervisory development, team development, leadership development. We do some product stuff. We do some training stuff. We do some HR stuff. So please follow us. We're here to share lots of content with you. So today we're going back to our leadership. We started last week with the Work of Leaders assessment. We talked about crafting a vision last week, and when we use the Work of Leaders program, we start with crafting a vision. Today we're going to talk about the second step called building alignment. We're going to talk about building alignment in a minute here. But again, we are going to be using the Everything DiSC Everything DiSC Work of Leaders assessment. If you have never taken the Work of Leaders assessment and you would like to take it, please let me know. I'd be happy to send you a link for free to take the assessment, and I'm happy to debrief, walk you through your results. I also do that for small groups online. If a small group you would like to do that online, it's about a 30-minute debrief. I can do that online with your small group. The Work of Leaders program profile started several years ago from the Work of Leaders book. If you don't have a copy of the book, it's fairly easily placed on Amazon. If you need a copy, I can also send you a copy. But they really did a lot of research around this whole concept of leadership. And they spoke to a lot of leaders. They spoke to a lot of folks who work for a lot of leaders. They did a lot of research, read a lot of books. And they came out with this kind of three-step model: vision, alignment, execution. So today we're going to talk about building alignment. And we have found, when I've taught this course over the years, we have found that building alignment, the scores from the leaders who take this assessment under building alignment tend to be the toughest scores. A lot of leaders we work with like to go from vision to execution. Okay, I got the idea, now we got to execute that idea, right, Michael? Like, well, not really. There's that whole building alignment. There's all getting the ducks in a row, making sure everyone's on the same page, making sure everyone's bought in, both to the idea, they feel passionate about this idea, and they're all going in the same direction. They've had an opportunity to share those ideas or those differences. You've worked out some of those, now then you're ready to execute. We're going to be talking about execution next week, but today we're going to talk about building alignment. So as you go through the assessment, after you go through your own personal part of the DiSC assessment, we do that in the classroom. Again, we're going through that three-step process. So building alignment, there are three drivers in building alignment: clarity, dialogue, and inspiration. And we're going to talk about the behaviors that are tied to all those when we assess those. So we talk about clarity in the first step of building alignment around the vision. What are we talking about there? Well, the assessment measures two scales. The first scale it measures is whether you as a leader have the ability to explain the rationale of the vision, or do you just offer intuition? Are you going from the hip? It's because I said so, and that's why we should do this. Or are you explaining the rationale behind this vision? And explaining the rationale is the best practice here. So you have to get comfortable explaining the reasoning behind the vision. And how do you do that? The second one in clarity is whether you use impromptu messaging, again, kind of going off the hip here, or whether you use structured messaging. And the best practice here is structured messaging. So under clarity, we really want to work on these two things: explaining the rationale and structured messaging. So people kind of hear from you where it is this vision is going. The second driver under clarity is dialogue, being able to articulate this vision. And again, we measure two scales in this area. The first is exchanging perspectives or presenting information. Again, I go back to my example here. Am I just telling folks what this vision is, or are we exchanging perspectives? Are we getting into this back and forth with the team? Are they have the ability to give a little input here? That's very, very important. That's what the leader needs to work on, is exchanging perspectives. The other in dialogue is whether you're receptive to possible new ideas or tweaks to the vision, or are you challenging to that vision? Are you those challenges come in and you just challenge them back? So if I'm on your team, am I comfortable giving you feedback on this vision, or are you just going to challenge me every time I give some feedback? So the best practice here is exchanging perspectives and being receptive. So again, giving folks an opportunity to share and being receptive to those ideas. The third driver in this area is inspiration. How do you inspire folks, and how inspiration drives alignment? Again, we're trying to get the team focused around this vision. We want them to buy into it emotionally. We want them to feel passionate about it. So you have to give some inspiration along the way. So in this area, we look at a couple scales. One, are you expressive? Are you motivated? Can you show that enthusiasm? Now, again, you don't need to jump on the table and scream at the moon, but the opposite of that is being reserved. If you are reserved, and there are leaders who are that are reserved, there are times you're going to have to show some emotion, and you have to be expressive about this idea, this vision you have. The other is being encouraging. Be encouraging. We're going to get to the execution stage here, and you have to be encouraging of your people so they can take this vision and move it forward. The other side of that is just being matter of fact. Oh, thank you very much. And the "oh, thank you very much," though may sound good, it really isn't what you're looking for here. You really want to be encouraging. You want to get people to step out of the box and get them to push this vision forward. Push this vision forward. So again, building alignment takes a lot of work. Building alignment isn't easy to do. Building alignment takes time, because you can't go from vision to execution. You got to build some of this alignment in the middle of this. The next step is execution. We'll talk about, now you've got the vision and you've got folks who all kind of going the same way, and everyone's had an idea where this is going. Then we're going to talk about executing. And then after executing, following up. And then after execution, we'll take a look at the assessment. And toward the back end of the assessment in the second half of the class, we actually do some action planning. So now that we've looked at those 18 behaviors, some of those behaviors you're going to do quite well. And most folks tend to do about half of those really well, 9 or 10, maybe even 11. But the other half, not so much. So we take a look at the areas that you're strong in, want to build on those, keep those going. But we want to take a look at those areas that you can use some personal improvement in. And we go through those areas and we break it down into small groups, and you come up with accountability partners. And we work on those areas over the next few weeks that you can improve on. We'll talk more about that next week. But while I got you live here in Facebook, wherever you're watching this, I'll give you one bit of commercial. We do have a new product out, the 5 Behaviors of a Cohesive Team. Folks, the Wiley folks who built that product came out with a new product a couple weeks ago, actually about a month ago now. The 5 Behaviors Personal Development Tools. So if you're currently using the 5 Behaviors of a Cohesive Team and you'd like to do something on the personal level so individuals can see where they personally are in those 5 areas, we do have that product now. It's on our website, trainingsolutions.com. You can come check it out. And again, we'd be happy to walk you through that assessment. I'll let you take it and that kind of thing too. So I see we're just about out of time today. So this is Mondays with Michael Live here on Facebook. Join me next Monday for part 3 of our leadership journey through the work of leaders. We'll talk about execution. We'll wrap it all up. And again, if you want to take a stab at this assessment or try it out for yourself, just let me know and we'll send you a link. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next week. Take care.